Baby, I placed your photo on the royal palace wall. They told me I was out of my mind, that I had lost myself to something fleeting, something too wild to be called love. They said you didn't belong here, not in this world of marble silence and diamond-laced rules. But I don't care. I never have, not when it comes to you. They speak of honor, legacy, and tradition. I speak only your name again and again, like a prayer I forgot I ever lived without. They warn me that a prince doesn't display weakness, doesn't wear his heart in the open, doesn't fall for a woman who was chosen for him by bloodlines and alliances. But I did. And I don't regret a single breath of it. I placed your photo on the royal palace wall, not hidden, not framed in secrecy, but in the open, where every dignitary, every advisor, every judging eye can see. Let them look. Let them whisper. Let the gold-plated halls of my ancestors echo with the sound of their disapproval. It means nothing to me now. What matters is that your smile lies here in the heart of this ancient house, in the very veins of my rebellion. Because you're not just a part of my life. You've become the fire I walk through every day. And no crown, no tradition, no empire can make me choose otherwise. They ask me why. Why this madness? Why now when everything was prepared, polished, and expected of me? I smile. Because they don't know what it feels like to love someone in silence, in the age of distance, in the secret corners of a soul no one else has touched. They don't know what it's like to see your eyes in every mirror, to feel your absence like hunger in the bones. You're the only real thing I've ever known in a world built on illusion. And it'll be damned if I let them erase you. I placed your photo on that wall the way kings once carved names into history, with certainty, with defiance, with the weight of something immortal. I did ask for permission. I did wait for acceptance. Because when you walked into my life, I stopped belonging to the rules. I belong to you. In the silence of these grand halls, your face speaks louder than all their traditions combined. Let them try to tear it down. I'll put it back every time, again and again, until they understand. This palace does define me. You do. And I'd burn down every legacy if it meant building one with you. Maybe I placed your photo on the royal palace wall. And now it feels like home. They say I've broken a code. That I've tainted something sacred, not with violence, not with war, but with love. Imagine that. In a world ruled by titles and thrones, what offends them most is not betrayal or bloodshed, but the sight of a woman who was born into royalty becoming the center of a prince's world. But let them talk. Let them drown in their own quiet rage. Because the truth is, you were never meant to be hidden in the shadows of my life. I've spent years pretending to be what they wanted, perfect, poised, untouched by passion. And I'm tired. Tired of wearing a crown that demands silence, when all I want is to scream your name into every hall of this palace. So I placed your photo there, on that cold marble wall, where paintings of dead kings and forgotten queens used to hang, and for the first time, the palace felt alive. Do you know what it means for me to do that? For me, a man who was raised to live without personal desires, whose every move was orchestrated before he was old enough to understand the weight of his last name, to place your image in the heart of this house. It's not a gesture. It's a war cry. It's me saying, I choose her. Over the throne. Over the name. Over every carefully arranged marriage proposal that sits in sealed envelopes on my desk, waiting to be opened. I've read none of them. Not since the day I met you. Your love was never written in ink, never signed with a royal seal, but it burned into my bones. The world may call it foolish. They may see it as weakness. But I've never felt stronger than when I saw your face framed by the gold and ivory of the royal wall, your eyes looking back at me like home. Why father hasn't spoken to me in days. My uncles meet in hushed tones, their voices thick with worry, with threats they don't dare say aloud not yet. Why mother cried, but not because she does love me. She cried because she knows what it means when a prince defies tradition. It's not just disobedience, it's exile from the soul of this empire. But even she saw it in my eyes. That I'm done pretending. That I'm not interested in a crown that demands. I cut out the very heart that keeps me alive. I was born into this world, but I was never truly a part of it. Not until you. Now, everything makes sense. Why I always felt like I was living someone else's story. Why the throne never felt like mine. Because you are my kingdom. And if I have to choose between loving you in the open or ruling in the shadows, then let them strip me of every title, I'll still walk taller by your side than I ever did wearing a crown. I placed your photo on that wall because I wanted the truth to live where lies once sat dressed in gold. I wanted your smile to challenge centuries of silence. And it has. The staff avoids looking at it. The council pretends it does exist. But I see how their eyes flicker when they walk past. Some with disgust. Some with curiosity. A few the quiet ones with envy. Because deep down, even they know what it means to love without apology. They just never had the courage to live it. But I do. I do because of you. Because when I think of you, I no longer feel like a prince caged in a story written by someone else. I feel like a man real flawed, but free. And I'll take that over any throne. Maybe, I placed your photo on the royal palace wall. Not because I wanted to rebel. Not because I wanted to prove a point. But because I wanted the world to see what my heart looks like. And it looks like you. And I did it with my own hands. No servants. No grand ceremony. No gilded frame forged by the royal artisans. Just your picture, that one where you're laughing, not posing, not pretending, just being. I held it like it was a relic, sacred and eternal, and I pinned it to a space that had once held the portrait of an emperor. An emperor I'm supposed to admire. But I don't admire ghosts who live for power. I admire you for the way you love, for the way you see me not as a prince, not as a legacy, but as a man who's itching to be known beyond the throne. And when I stepped back, when I saw your face in that place reserved for bloodlines and battles, I felt a peace no crown has ever given me. In that moment, I didn't care about consequence. I didn't care about history. I cared only that this palace, built on centuries of silence, finally carried the sound of your name. They'll erase it. I know they will. Maybe not today, maybe not this week, but they'll find a way to cover it, to replace it, to pretend it never happened. That's how royalty works. They rewrite the truth until it fits their image. But they'll place it again. And again. Until they understand this isn't a phase, or a whim or a rebellion fueled by youth. This is love unshakable, untamed, unapologetic. A kind of love that kings fear because it cannot be controlled. The kind that won't kneel, not even for tradition. Let them strip me of my title. Let them exile me from the legacy they worship. I'll still be a better man with you than I ever was without you. They don't understand that I was born with a crown, but I only started living the day you touched my soul with your ladder. Everything before you was survival. With you it's freedom. My brothers think in throwing everything away. They speak in cold logic, in political terms. They say, this is how things are done. This will destabilize everything. But they don't feel what I feel when I look at you. They've never tasted that ache in the chest, that is pain, its devotion so deep it makes everything else look dull. They've never held someone in their arms and known, truly known, that the world could burn and it wouldn't matter, as long as that person stayed. That's what you are to me. The center. The anchor. The only truth I believe in anymore. And what they don't realize is, I'm not throwing my life away. And choosing it. For the first time. I didn't grow up believing I had choices. I was told who to be, how to speak, what to love or rather, what not to. Every decision came with a script. Every smile was rehearsed. Until you. You ruined all of that. You came into my world without bowing. You spoke to me like I wasn't sacred, but seen. And now I crave the honesty like air. They call you dangerous. Not because you hold any weapon, but because you hold me. Because when I'm with you, I'm no longer theirs. And that terrifies them. Baby, I placed your photo on the royal palace wall. Not just as a gesture. Not just as a statement. But as a beginning. Our beginning no matter who tries to end it. And for the first time, the silence in these halls didn't feel empty, it felt like you were here, like your ladder might echo down the marble corridor, like I could turn a corner and find you standing there barefoot, fearless, and mine. You don't know what that photo means to me. To them, it's a scandal, a disgrace, a mark of rebellion. But to me, it's a prayer carved into stone. It's the reminder that no matter how polished these floors are, how high these ceilings reach,